Hey guys, Vengeance are here, bringing you another video. I can't really say a BDO video completely. I got something a little different in store today. Coming back off of finishing up some of this energy, I got the Serenity Adventure Journal number 3 done. So I got one, I don't know why one's down there, but I got 1, 2, 3, and 4 done. I'm starting on 5. But I have to do some more Amity stuff, and I started here, and I'm waiting on my energy to come back. I'm out of energy, so it needs to replenish before I do that. But hopefully when I get done with these 3 or 4 Amity quest things here, and get this last energy point, I should be done with most of the Amity stuff. I still don't know what I'm going to do about this. This is all main quest stuff, a lot of this, and I've done the Balanos main quest, so I don't know why I don't have that energy. But Balanos is done except for that one, and Adventure Journal 2, but I don't think it gives any energy. Serenity will be done, and I can move on to Calpheon and Medea and Valencia, and I've been looking through those, and most of those are just quest based. There's only 2 or 3 Amities through all 3 of those, so I'm going to be able to get 5 energy, 7, 14, 16, 17 without too much Amity requirement, and then I got another 7 here. So that's 24, and then once I get on through Valencia, I got another 8, 11. So 35 energy out of those without having to really sink a bunch of energy into Amity. I know there's a few in there spread out, but hopefully the energy requirements go down and it's mostly just quest based. And then we can move on to the Margorius stuff and Kamasova stuff. But if I get through most of these adventure journals, all I'm going to have left is the academics. Which, a lot of these are just talking to people and doing some quests and stuff here. Through dialogue. So I'll have to look up those because I don't know them off the top of my head. But the academics don't have nearly as much energy potentially as the adventure journals. That's why I'm choosing the adventure journals first, to try to get the biggest chunks out of the way, and then move on from there. Same with the ecology. I've still got quite a bit of ecology stuff to do, but I haven't felt like grinding, so I'm kind of giving them a break so I don't get burnt out, because I still got the stars in stuff. I can do one there, and then let's see, I can do a couple easy ones. The Gaha Bandit one I was working on, and then the Creatures of Valencia is a pretty big chunk. And then Medea, I've got all of Medea. So, then it's just Kamasova and the rest of Dragon, and then Odalita. So there isn't much left in ecology to do. So it's mostly Adventure Journal. That's where I'm going to get a big chunk of my energy, which 35 is going to put me well into the 500s. See, I gotta remember where I'm at here. This place confuses the hell out of me. I always fish right here. Right here between these two. Cool. So we'll go back to fishing for a while. And I already have 44 of these, so I'm hoping to get several hundred of them by the time this event is over in 3 weeks. And then these is just going to be gravy on top. And I might, if I get enough to make the silver that I'm looking for, then I'll probably use some of these and see if I can't grind out some gathering levels. But for now, we're still Guru 18, and we're still churning away. But I have another topic that I want to touch on, and this video is basically after the introduction, which I've done. And I'm also going to have to get the self-promotion out of the way, so if you're not subbed, go ahead and sub. But now that we've got through all that mess, let's talk about what I actually want to talk about. The title of the video, BDO versus Guild Wars 2. And I've tried to get back into Guild Wars 2 recently because of they put out an expansion not too long ago, and I went ahead and bought it. I've tried so hard to get into that game, but there's a couple of things that put me off on it. So I kind of want to go over 10 topics in the two games and kind of just compare the two games. They're by no means the same, but they both are big MMORPGs. So I have to, I want to say 10 topics. Let's see. Let me change something real quick. There we go. So I got 10. They're by no means all the topics, but we'll touch on these 10. So here they are. I got them right here. I'm gonna go over these and give my opinion. Other people might have more opinions. I'm gonna leave Black Desert Sound up in the background because I like the little Termian and everybody fishing. I kind of just like the ambient noise. So the first topic I want to go over is story. I'm BDO biased because I like BDO a lot better than Guild Wars 2. So let me get that out of the way before I get into this. But hands down, Guild Wars 2 wins on story. Their storytelling is what they're known for. So I'm going to give them a point. And BDO does have a story and all the quests and everything, but you can literally go through the whole game. It's optional. The only real quest or story you have to do is the Awakening stuff at 56. But you can literally go through the whole thing and never have to do any of the story or anything. I mean, yeah, it'll hinder your gameplay some. But if you're not into life skilling, you don't need a ton of energy, and you just want to grind and just grind money and buy gear and upgrade, and then PvP, that you never have to touch the story. I mean, it's crazy. And Guild Wars 2, on the other hand, that's how you level. And they're leveling a little different. You know, you have a relative level, so it's scaled based on the area you're in. If you're in a high area, you know, your level will be whatever it is, and if you're in a lower level, it scales it your level down. BDO doesn't do that, which I prefer the BDO way of doing things. I really don't like the level scaling, but we're gonna give the storytelling over to Guild Wars 2. I don't want this video to be too long, so I'm trying to move pretty quick. But number 2 is combat. And I'm going to go ahead and just put this right here, because BDO's combat is number 1. I don't care what anybody else says. No, I've been playing through Guild Wars 2 some more the last couple of days, and I'm so pissed off at the combat. It is so frustrating. It doesn't feel fluid. It feels slow. It feels clunky. I play an Elementalist over there on that game. Kind of the same as a wizard. It's their version of a mage or wizard or whatever you want to call it, but they're so damn frustrating. I played through the whole main story, you know, years back, whenever it was out. You know, I leveled all the way to 80, which is the cap, and I played through the whole main story. Now I'm trying to go through the Living World stuff to set up for the first expansion, to just play through the story on the first expansion and unlock some stuff. And the combat is just frustrating. I just die over and over and over. But I would like to get through the first couple of Living World stuff, which Living World basically is their version of events and quests. in between expansions to where the world kind of changes and you have community events that took place. And it's basically just their way of giving you content between expansion packs, which I guess is great whenever if you're doing it as it comes out, but if you're doing it retrospectively, it sucks real bad. It's so damn boring, and like I said, the combat is just ugh. Now the world, I'm torn on this one. I'm gonna go ahead and give this one to BDO, and here is why. BDO is one continuous world. There are no warp points. There are no teleportations, aside from like the treasure map stuff. You know, a one-time thing here with a cooldown, but it's a continuous world. Guild Wars 2. The reason I like I mean, I like both games, but for different reasons. The world in Guild Wars 2 feels fantastical and over the top, which I love. And MMORPGs, for me, they have to be severely fantastic, like elves, you know, all that kind of stuff. The different races and things, which BDO has too, but you know, it's a little different. It's not so fantasy based. A lot of the races are humanoid, and you have just different classes. You don't really have different playable races like you do in Guild Wars 2. So the world feels more fantastical in Guild Wars 2, which I've always loved. That's why I wanted to try and get into it and get into the story and just play through it and enjoy it for myself. Maybe not even make so much content on it, but I wanted to experience it, you know. However, with all the teleportation things, it feels like the world being as big as it is doesn't feel as big as, say, BDO, because BDO you're running around and you can't teleport, so you actually have to travel and see things. Where in Guild Wars 2, you just click a little waypoint and spend some of your coins and you're there. Which, it does save time. There are pros and cons, but in terms of world building, I don't agree with it. Yeah, I just don't agree with it. Life skills, or professions, jobs, whatever you want to call them. Well, we already know this is going to BDO. And like I said, I know that I'm biased here a little bit. So you're going to see more BDO probably than Guild Wars 2. I guarantee this. But life skilling in BDO is unlike no other. And I know Guild Wars 2 has some of that stuff, but it doesn't have near the depth that BDO does. I've tried some of the crafting in Guild Wars. Hands down, BDO just takes the cake and smashes it in the face of Guild Wars 2. It really does. I could spend hours just sailing around on my ship in BDO or fishing. You know, I mean, I love the fishing. I don't know why, but I do. I just love the fishing, and I haven't been able to do that in Guild Wars 2. I don't even know if you can. I would say no, but maybe you can. The gearing and grind, number 5. This one's an either or. As far as grinding goes, BDO is grind heavy. Guild Wars 2, you still grind, but it's not the same. You're not gear grinding as much. There are some dungeons and stuff you can run. There's fractals, raids, that kind of, or fractals are their basic raid, I believe. But in terms of gear, you're not grinding on a gear treadmill, basically. like you are in BDO, where you're constantly enhancing or whatever. A lot of the grind in Guild Wars 2 is cosmetic. So you're not running into that being gated from content by gear score, essentially. I think I'm going to leave this one blank for the time being. But it depends on which type of system you like. If you like grinding to try and get better gear, or grinding versus trying to get better cosmetics, you know, one or the other. So I'm gonna think about this one for a minute. PvP. This one's another one that I'm torn with. So we're gonna do this. In world versus world, I could type. We're gonna give it to Guild Wars 2. If I could type. And in open world, we're giving it to BDO. And gear grind, so for gearing, I would say the gear progression is Guild Wars 2, but grinding is going to be BDO. And at the end, I'm going to add all these up, and we'll do like it's like a points-based system, 1-to-1. But for PvP, Guild Wars 2 has no open world PvP. You basically have to load into the battlegrounds or world versus world. But on the actual maps where you're leveling and playing, there's no PvP. So for open world PvP, that makes it feel more like a cohesive, consistent world. BDO wins. But in world v world, Guild Wars 2 wins. Their overall setup for that is better. You know, it's all gear equalized for the most part. Some of it is. There's one option, I can't remember what it's called. It's like Battlegrounds, but it's gear equalized, and then you load in to, you can do two different PvP styles. And one's equalized, one isn't, I believe. It's been a little while. But the Red Battlefield stuff that I've played in BDO, it's fun, but it doesn't compare. So I'm just, and the node wars and stuff, and so we have to split that. And then on the gearing and grind, the reason I split that is because grinding in BDO is a whole lot more fun than Guild Wars 2. Basically, when you're grinding in Guild Wars 2, you're running around. You can kill mobs like that, but getting the drops is just different. And then there are actual world events that happen across all the maps on repeat that you can grind, and you get participation and items and stuff from doing that. Which brings me to the next one, events. This is another tough one. That's why I put these in the middle to go over. The events in Guild Wars 2 are set up to where they are computer controlled scripted events. So if you load into a map, you have, say you have like the little population that lives on this map, or you have like a fort on this map. Well, these events will continually happen, and basically that fort will get attacked over and over throughout the day, and you can join into the event and help defend the fort, just for an example. They have all kinds of them. There is one event that I always remember doing in the earlier map, is where you're basically escorting a pack mule to deliver supplies to a town, and you can do this over and over and over. It resets every little bit, and the pack mule auto walks to town, and you have to keep it from dying, or it's like a wagon or something, or like a bull that carries stuff. And as it walks along the road from one town to the next, monsters will appear and come in and try and attack it. All you gotta do is clear them and just wait for it to get to the next town and just follow it. So those type of events are scripted all the time. And then they have the living world stuff, which is like GM controlled content that's released that affects the world. It's kind of like a story. Now on BDO's side, you have GM ran community events that are put in with maintenance every few weeks or whatever, and then you have the seasons. So this one is kind of a toss up of which ever ones you prefer. In terms of design, I kind of lean towards the Guild Wars 2 events, but the thing with those is after you've done one the first time, going back and doing it again, it's just annoying as hell. It's boring and annoying. So that's why I say it's a toss-up, and I'm going to give both a point for that, just because of the different styles of doing it. I can't put one over the other. Now, free stuff. Oh, free stuff. BDO loves giving away login rewards, quest, like event quests, free stuff, coupon code, free stuff. BDO gives away so much free stuff to get you hooked on spending the money. And Guild Wars 2 also has login rewards, but I'm going to lean towards BDO on this one. I haven't seen any like coupon giveaways for Guild Wars 2. I know that they do give away stuff here and there, but I don't think it's on the level that BDO does. Yeah, I'm trying to hurry this up because I already hit 21 minutes. Inventory, another big hot topic. Inventory space. We all know how BDO does things. Let me switch back over to... BDO does things. You start out with the inventory. You can have 192 max slots. Mine's maxed out right now, so you can't see it. But to upgrade these, you got to buy packs from the shop or from Function. See, 100 slot backpack bundle. And you're paying quite a bit for it, and it's just one of those things where to get more inventory you unlock, but they give away so many free ones that you never have to do that. I should have never bought the ones that I bought because I get tons of free ones. Here's a plus 16 right here, and that's by no means the only one that I've had. My other characters are easily getting their inventory unlocked, and of course it's not going to show what look at this. See how many slots I got on this one? It only shows the full slots, but there's even more empty ones on there. I don't want to switch. I want to go to their inventory. And this one doesn't show it either, but tons of free inventory slots. So the inventory on BDO is pretty good. Even though they want to try and make you pay, they give you enough free ones that you can get by without it. And plus there's there's quests. Expansion. So you can get inventory expansions from all these quests. I think they're like 2 or 3 a piece, or sometimes only 1. But you still get free stuff. Now, Guild Wars 2 is a little bit different. Let me... we'll transition in a second. Let me see if I can log in here with both of them running. The PC should handle it. I usually don't worry about it, but we'll see. Let's put some Guild Wars 2 stuff up, just so we got some different... here we go. See if it will pick up the game. There it is. So here's the Elementalist. I'm getting ready to do some story quests, but the Elementalist combat, what I was talking about, you got 4 keys to switch. Based on which ones you switch to, you got different elements. There's so many skills. for an elementalist, it's crazy. But the combat is very slow. You can do action combat, kind of, but you can only dodge twice. You run out of energy. There isn't a stamina increase or anything, and the casting is just different. You got some movement speed skills. Anyway, back to the inventory. Guild Wars 2 does it a little different. You have to buy slots for bags. Costs you 400 gems to unlock a slot. I don't have any gems, but you know, either way. But then you can put these bags in each slot, and you get so many per bag. You can do 15 or 12s, and you can craft bigger ones, and then you get a starter backpack that's 20 slots, and then you can actually show the individual bags, or you can do one continuous thing like I do. And all this junk, I have no idea what most of this crap's for. But I'm going to say that BDO does better inventory than, however, I forget how to switch over to material. Anyway, with the slots you still have to pay. At least with BDO you get free ones. I've never gotten a free slot upgrade. I had to buy the ones that I bought. So, hands down, giving it to BDO. It sounds like there is an event going on outside of where it's at. So, giving the inventory over to BDO. Now, price. I think BDO is gonna take a point here because the game is like $10 and you have it forever. There's no subs, although you can do a sub in BDO. The Guild Wars 2 is a little different. Let me switch back over to it. So there is a cash shop. I don't know what's in here. I don't really look, but as far as upgrades go, you can buy all kinds of junk in here. Inventory stuff, all kinds of different weird account things. You got cosmetics, like crazy. But you have to buy the base game. Or at least you used to. Now it's free up until the level cap, and then you have to buy the expansions. But each expansion is like $30, I think. So you're in for quite a bit. And then they do have the cash shop. The only good thing about the Guild Wars 2 cash shop is that there's a currency exchange. So you can actually take in-game gold and buy gems with it, which is their currency, their shop currency. So you can farm as many as people are going to sell. And it's the reverse too. If you want to spend real money and get gold for stuff in game, you can sell your gems on. So I really like this style of system. Sorry. I really like this style of system. The older game for Second World that I played had this system to where you could take your gold and actually buy the premium currency. So I like that. And I have 80 gems left over. And here's some of those events I was talking about that are popping up. You got little things around the map that happen, and these happen over and over again. The world map is huge, but being that you can teleport everywhere, like I'm over here, I can just go anywhere over here and click on one of these waypoints, and it will teleport me there. It costs silver, but it will teleport me there. So. But I think that in terms of price, BDO wins. But in the cash shop, Guild Wars 2 wins. So I'm going to give them each a point. So price, Guild Wars 2. And then cash shop, price is BDO, sorry. And then Guild Wars 2 is the cash shop. So total, we've got Guild Wars 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then BDO we have at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So overall, for me, switching back to BDO here. For me, BDO wins. It's just a better game for me. But I do believe that Guild Wars 2 should not be forgotten. If you're, I think it should be used like I'm using it. For me, I'm gonna fish for the next couple weeks, and I'm gonna play Guild Wars 2 in the background. I'm gonna go through the story, play the expansions, and just see if I get into it anymore. I owe myself that much because I spent the money on the expansions and I never played them, so I'm gonna try. But I want to make this little video for the next couple days because I am gonna be a little bit busy, so I want to get this out. But I think that kind of goes over why I prefer BDO over Guild Wars 2, but I don't want to sleep on Guild Wars 2. I think it is still a very good game, and as you play, the story is amazing. Some of the living world stuff is very boring, but the main story I found when I played it, it was pretty good, and I think the expansions are pretty good too. But the characters just feel like you're developed. I have more attachment to the characters in Guild Wars 2 than I do on BDO. Let me put it that way. There's not very many characters in BDO that I'm attached to, not NPCs anyway. So, but in terms of game systems and everything, I very much prefer BDO. That's why I got into it instead of just playing Guild Wars 2. So, there is that. But there it is. If you liked, let me comment. Let me know what you think about all the different things. I'm by no means, again, I have to reiterate, I am by no means quitting BDO. It is my favorite MMORPG, but I want to, being my favorite, I'm going to be most critical of it. There are a lot of things that I don't like about BDO. The energy gating is absolutely atrocious. Having to refill my energy bar to be able to increase my energy bar through the Amity quest is just stupid. And then also having to like spend energy to be able to gather stuff. That's one thing that I didn't touch on that Guild Wars 2 doesn't have. It doesn't have an energy thing you can go out and gather and don't have to worry about that, you know. So there is that. But it's very frustrating in some ways, but I think since it's my favorite MMORPG that I'm going to be more critical than I would of other games. And so I want to see how it stacks up against the biggest MMORPG titles that are still around. And I think it's sad that Guild Wars 2 has many more players. They're still milking off the Guild Wars 1 IP. And I think that's why so many people got attracted to it. But I still think that BDO deserves more players than it has. Eventually, Guild Wars 2 is coming to Steam too, I think. So there will be probably more people jumping in and trying it out. So that might bode ill for BDO, but we'll see. Anyway, I'm out of here. You guys enjoy the rest of your day. And as always, until next time.